See, all of us are survivors, but we wouldn't be here. We all survived something or we wouldn't be here. But some of us survived with everything working for us. It means that when you wait, you don't just sit down like you're sitting at the bus stop listlessly, aimlessly looking into the wind and the weather, waiting on the bus to come. It means that while you're waiting, you ought to be doing push-ups and jumping jacks and lifting up barbells because you're renewing your strength. What are you renewing your strength for? Because you need to be strong enough to bear the weight of the favor that God's going to release on your life. This is the time. My God. This is the time. It's amazing how you can be sustained by a thing you can't even describe. You can't even tell people what it's like, but you just know that something is about to happen. Is there anybody who knows what I'm talking about? You just knew something. I don't care whether it looks like your season. I don't care whether you're 17 or 77. When God gets ready to bless you, he says it's never too late for you to get what you need. And I'm telling you today that it is dangerous to give up too soon. People get upset when you got your blessing outside of them. There are some other folk in this room who survived, didn't have this, didn't have that, didn't have the other, didn't have help, didn't have a husband, sometimes didn't have a job, sometimes didn't have a friend, sometimes you had to push yourself, sometimes you had to encourage yourself. You never had everything working at one time, but you were moving. You were in the dark, but you were still fighting in the dark, working in the dark, bought your house in the dark, raised your kids in the dark. You know God was on your side. You didn't have what they had, but you made it anyway. But whoever you are, I want you to understand this is the time. This is the moment you've been waiting on. You've been waiting all of your life to get to the point that you are right now. You're in the right place at the right time for a miracle to break loose in your life. If it had happened 10 years ago, you couldn't have handled it. If it had happened 3 years ago, you wouldn't have been mature enough to handle it. You had to go through everything you went through in the dark to get you tough enough and strong enough and courageous enough and tenacious enough. And now you're ready. Slap somebody, say, I'm ready. Because there are some things in your life that will make you run. There are certain things that will happen in your life that make you pick up the pace, that slap you out of your stupor and say, this ain't no time to cry. You feel like I can't even have good grief. Everybody got to pick up the pace. That's why I can't deal with people who cannot pick up the pace. Don't be strolling when I got a 911 on you. I need people who can pick up the pace. Do not allow the cares of this world to destroy your passion for living. You have to run after it. Success is always intentional. I would rather aim for the stars and not hit them than to not aim at all. I would rather go after it and not get it than not go after it at all. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. I don't want to live with the idea, wonder what would have happened had I done more with my life. I'm going to go for it come hell or high water. I'm going after my destiny. You got to run after your destiny. You can't stroll after your destiny. You can't walk after your destiny. You got to run. Somebody holler, run! Run after your destiny. Touch your neighbor and say, run after your destiny. Do not stroll, do not walk, do not meander, do not wander, but roll after your destiny. You gotta run. You gotta run. You gotta run. You can't just wake up in the morning and let me see what's gonna happen today. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna wear. I don't know what I'm gonna cook. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I just woke up. oh, you should stay in the bed. Give the day to somebody who's going to run after their destiny. Give the day to somebody who has a plan, who has a strategy, because success is never an accident. And if you don't want it, get out of my way. Because there are some people who want to do something with their life who will run. You got to run after your destiny. You got to run after it. You got to run after your destiny. 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 You got to run after it. You got to run. When they gave the young man the scholarship, tears welled up in my eye. I said, oh God, good. He got a better chance to run after your destiny. It's running time. It's running time. It's not strolling time. It's not walking time. It's not sightseeing time. It's running time. Get ready to run. Give me some space because I'm getting ready to run. Get up out of my face because I'm getting ready to run. Don't have time for what you're talking about because I'm getting ready to run. I'm gonna run. Gotta run. I'm running for my life. Gotta run. Gotta run. Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run. I'm getting ready to run like I never run before. I'm getting ready to leap like I never leaped before. I'm getting ready to shout like I never shout before. I'm getting ready to dance like I never danced before. I'm getting ready to run. Anybody gonna run with me? Anybody gonna run with me? Anybody gonna run, 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 run? You cannot be a believer until you see your old life and the misery thereof and want to change it. Are you committed? Because without commitment, nothing happens. If you don't learn to give like you learn to get, every area that there is not reciprocity, it will die. Reciprocity. What do you give back for what you get? If you're not committed, you're not going to make it. Even the ones with the personalities you don't like. You have to be committed through the storm and the rain and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment. You have to believe in the we and the us and not the me and the you, or you're not gonna make it. It's a commitment. It's not a feeling. Until you have had the taste of finishing, you will not respect yourself. Until you follow through, until something is done, come hell or high water, tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it anyway, and you show up and you continue to fight on no matter the circumstances. After a while, something begins to wither inside of you. Anytime you need something that you can't give to yourself, you're at the mercy of somebody else, and when they don't come through, you got pain. And what you become is the consequences of what you didn't get. It's an urge. It's an urge. Truth be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much. But don't you quit. Don't you quit. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. As weak as you are, as tired as you are, as many mistakes as you made, you do make a difference. There is something they would lose if you were not there. There was something that they would miss if you were not there. You do make a difference. Nobody gets a degree by mistake. Nobody wins the Olympics by mistake. Nobody runs a race by accident. Success is always intentional. You have to run after your destiny. There are certain things that will happen in your life that make you pick up the pace. The one thing I can tell you for sure is that nothing is for sure. And I want to say to you that if you run after your destiny, you won't have to fight with your history. You won't have time for your history if you run after your destiny. I want to wake you up out of struggling with old ghosts. Casper the friendly ghost is dead. I want you to shake yourself and understand it's time to run after your destiny. Everybody in the text is running after their destiny. If they are running, why are you still standing there? It's the one thing I can tell you to count on is don't count on anything. that life will often disrupt what you expected. That just as soon as you have it down in a nice, neat little box of how you think it's going to go, and that when I walk down here, this is what is going to happen, by the time you get there, it will never be what you expected it to be. So you got to get used to being a little disappointed. You got to get used to being a little bit shocked. You got to get used to walking into situations and being flexible and adjustable. Because if you are not flexible, you cannot survive. If you, hear me good, especially young people, if you run after your destiny, you will automatically distance yourself from your history. You understand? If you just run after what's in front of you, you will escape what's behind you. Don't spend all your time trying to fix what's behind you, because you'll never be able to fix what's behind you. You have to run after what's in front of you. I don't dress like you. I don't walk like you. I don't act like you. I'm a runner. I'm not built like you. I don't think like you. I'm a runner. Shout hallelujah. I didn't always have my head on straight. I didn't always have my head on straight. And in places I suffered from the lack of focus. You understand what I'm saying? I could have been further if I'd have run faster. I had the ability to run further. Had I been focused, I could have gone further, but I wasn't always focused. But there are many, many, many people that I did outrun. There are many, many people that I did outrun because I came to myself quick enough. If you start running in your teens, while your mind is sharp, and your body is strong, and your strength is focused, if you run in your youth, you'd be surprised what will happen by the time you're 30, by the time you're 40, by the time you're 50. You gotta run. Somebody holler, run! Anybody can love you when you just bought a yacht. But when everybody turns against you and all hell breaks loose, and it looks like you're not a winner, and it looks like the love doesn't pay, most people make a withdrawal when they don't see a benefit. And all of a sudden, Life demands that you pick up the pace. Life demands that you pick up the pace. If you don't pick up the pace, you're going to be left behind. I'm amazed at the people that lack the flexibility to pick up the pace. They just get in a rut. I stroll down here and I'm going to stroll back. I'm going to stroll over here. I'm going to stroll over there. Somebody's late, but you made up your mind. I'm going to start running. I didn't get it till I got to this age, but I'm going to start running. I messed up junior high, but now I'm going to start running. I messed up high school, but now I'm going to start running. The moment you get the word, you ought to run. The Bible said, the day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. When God gives you a chance at an escape, don't be cute. Run after your death. My God, run! Run! Do y'all hear me? Run! Run after your death. Run after it. Run after it. Run! Don't be ashamed. Run! Hear me if you don't get anything else. Outrun us. Outrun us. Outrun us. Outrun us. Don't let us be the benchmark of how high you can go, because you were built to outrun us. You're supposed to outrun us. Don't be looking at me funny. We outran our parents. Look at who your mama was and who your daddy was and who your grandmama was and who your granddaddy was. Look at how they was living and look at what God has done for you. You are supposed to outrun where you came from. I brought you this far. You ought to at least go further than where I brought you. Outrun us. Touch somebody and say, outrun us! Every parent worth his salt wants your child to outrun you. I don't understand how you could be jealous of your child, competing with your child. There must be something wrong with you where you are still a child yourself, because grown folks ought not to compete with their children. You ought to support your children. You ought to encourage your children. You ought to help your children, but they're supposed to outrun us. You'd be surprised at the people who can't figure out why their life is being polluted. They've actually been delivered. They've actually gone on in their life, but they fail to wash from their face where they came from, and they look like where they were, and so they're still penalized as if they were where they were. Even though they've come up higher, they didn't wash their face. You got to wash your past off of you, or you will forfeit your opportunity to go forward. And you'll be angry at people and upset at people, but people wouldn't be talking about you if you would just wash your face. But you haven't washed your face. You had the academics, you had the intellect, you had the ability, you had the school loan, you had the tenacity, you did everything. You got the degree. You're in the upper echelon. You're moving amongst certain people of influence and affluence, but you're not able to handle it because you've never washed your face. You might as well be in the back of a trailer over in the project somewhere, spitting watermelon seeds over your grandmama's back porch, because for all of your training and education, you never did wash your face and prepare yourself for where you are now. And you're trying to change the whole system to fit you when you have to fit the situation. Everything's not going to change for you. You've got to anoint your face, which basically means put on a fresh attitude. Makeup does stuff. It brightened your countenance. It gave you a fresh, clean, glowing look. And that's what the anointing does. It gives you a glowing look. It gives you an effervescence. It gives you a sense of excitement. It gives you a positive attitude where you walked into a room glowing. Understand, this is something you have to put on. This is not you. You put it on. Our generation has the philosophy, keeping it real. And we think keeping it real means expressing everything you think. But keeping it real will keep you broke. It will keep you unemployed. It will keep you divorced, because people really cannot handle that. They don't want that. What they want from you is to come to work with your face glowing and walk up and say, good morning, may I help you today? Because if you don't start changing your attitude, you will miss your altitude. Change your garments. Changing your garments means to prepare for something that hasn't even happened yet. And if you do this, you will look ridiculous where you are, because you are prepared for where you're going. Though you're not where you're going yet, you're already prepared for something that hadn't happened yet. Well, why would you do that? Because when it does happen, you won't have a chance to get ready. You're going to have to be ready when it does happen. Am I talking to anybody? And the other thing you have to understand is anytime you get ready for something that hadn't happened yet, you feel out of place with what is happening. You need to prepare in the direction that you're going in. I ought to be able to look at your preparation and see your destination. Your destination needs to be on you right now. Understand, my brothers and sisters, that when you do put it on, there's going to be a certain amount of peer pressure where people start treating you differently where you are because you're dressed for where you're going. But let them stare. It's worth them staring to be prepared. It hadn't happened yet, but I'm dressed for it. I'm ready for it. I'm learning about it. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to walk into it. I'm ready to receive it. I'm practicing on being blessed. I'm getting ready for it right now. I've been sick before. I made it. I've been broke before. I made it. I've been brokenhearted before. I made it. I cried all night, but I made it. I've been betrayed, but I made it. I've been lied on, but I made it. I've been destitute, but I made it. I've been rejected, but I made it. Sometimes when you're imagining how things are gonna go, they don't go the way you imagined. And if you're a weak person, you will quit because it didn't go the way you imagined it. Do you have something to say or not? What you do over the next few months will determine the next few years in your life. How you manage the critical mass of this moment will determine the outcome, whether you acquiesce back to the gravitational pull of your ordinariness or whether you break through into another orbit and another dimension of who you are. I would suggest to you that everything you have gone through in your previous dimension has prepared you for this next dimension, and you're right on the verge if you can master the breaking point. You earned it, you scuffled for it, you fought for it, and now you can hold it down. I want to talk to you about believe, what you believe, what you believe. What you believe about your God, but also what you believe about yourself. Belief is a very important thing. It's not just a matter of denomination. It's not just a matter of being a part of a group or a tribe or a clique or a cult. Belief has all to do with your philosophy that you live by, your vision, your purpose, your goals. I know you're weak, I know you made mistakes, I know you've erred along the way, but if you believe me, it is counted unto you as righteousness. The enemy does everything he can to tear down your belief system. You're able to do anything but fail. If you know who you are, then you know who you are not. If you don't know who you are, somebody can ascribe any identity onto you, and you will morph into whatever they want you to be. And that's what has happened with a whole lot of us. Some of us have been 10 or 12 different people depending upon who we were with, because we don't know who we are. We become whoever they want us to be, and then when they leave us, we are confused because we have no real understanding of who we are. If you open up a business, if you open up a company, one of the things you have is vision, purpose, and goals. And you write them down so all of your staff and all of your team and all your customers can know, this is who I am. I am defined by my vision, my purpose, and my goals. That's my playbook. That's my creed. That's what I believe as a company, as an institution. I can do all things. Somebody say, I can do all things. Say it again, I can do all things. Wouldn't it be amazing if you believe that? Wouldn't you sleep good tonight if you believe that? Wouldn't you walk around with your head up and your back straight if you believe that? Say it again, I can do all things. You wouldn't be intimidated by anybody, anywhere, at any time if you just believe that. Say it again, I can do all things. Can you imagine how different your job interview would go if you really believed that and walked in, they said, what do you do? I can do. Imagine if you were taught that from the time you were born into the world. The first thing your mama told you when they spanked you on the behind is, don't worry about it, baby. You can do all things. I want you to understand that the predicament that you are in right now does not define your destiny. Every time something whispers in your ear and says, you can't make it through this, you can't take this, you're going to have a nervous breakdown, you're going to lose your mind, you're going to die like your mama did, you're going to get sick like your daddy did, you got to talk back to those voices and say, hey! If you don't learn how to master the breaking point, you may have many ventures, but you will not accrue massive success in any area because you have not mastered the breaking point. Every time life runs you to a breaking point, you will give up and quit. You will back away and run. You will say, this is too hard, this is too emotional, this is too stressful, and you will back away. You cannot be a champion until you have survived a breaking point. If you don't learn how to touch people, you can never stop the issues that exist internally or externally in your church, in your life, in your family, in your business. So the one thing that the enemy is determined to do when you are at a breaking point, the first thing he wants to do is isolate you. The only thing wrong with your dream is that you're trying to do it by yourself. The difference between start and finish is determined by how you handle the breaking point. Talking about the danger of giving up too soon, making bad decisions, trading, bartering off, giving up people, giving up relationships, giving up careers, giving up your life. You can't make good decisions when they come from a bitter heart. No matter how strong you are, if you're not careful, a series of losses will affect how you feel about yourself, how you see life, and how you approach the future. That's why even when you lay down at night, you can't rest, because your body is still playing repeat of a narrative of things that aren't even there anymore. But your body's reacting because it's still going on in your head. But they say if for 21 days you can change your Glory. Saying I'm the head, not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm more than a conqueror. Hallelujah. I'm going to be blessed in the city. I'm blessed in the field. Wherever I go, I will be blessed. I'm saying it over and over again. In the morning, you have it for breakfast. At noon, you have it for lunch. At night, you have it for a midnight snack. I am good looking. I am somebody. I deserve to be loved. I belong in a place of blessing. I'm supposed to be blessed. After a while, you just say, I can do all. I've been going through 12 years of hell, 20 years of hell, 30 years of hell, 40 years of doubts, 10 years of insecurity, but I'm gonna break out. You'd be surprised at the people that never analyze what's going on with them. You'd be surprised at the grown people in this room who cannot explain themselves. 50 years old and you still can't explain what's going on with you. You never check you out. And you want somebody else to do the hard work of knowing you rather than you knowing yourself. When life doesn't turn out the way you think it ought to turn out, you look for somebody to blame. It's your fault that I'm in this condition. The lack of faith affects your attitude. When you stop believing